Hey everybody,
Hello.
how's it going, people? Hope everyone's doing well.
Hello. Good to see everyone here. I haven't been with you in so long. I was in a COVID hole.
Yep, for a couple of
Two,
weeks, huh?
two full weeks. Yeah. 15 days. I was sick. I'm much better now. Much, much better. Jake was
Good.
also sick for a full 2 weeks. And it was rough. A lot of fevers, exhaustion. Just sucked. Sucked.
Well,
0
you
stars. Do not
convinced me
recommend.
not to get COVID for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Don't get COVID. Do the things you need to do to prevent getting COVID. You know what they are,
Yeah,
so do them. This is Dr. Kelly telling
Dr.
you to
Kelley
do
has
it.
spoken.
That's right. It sucked.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I hope everyone because I know a lot of our fish fam is sick. Hope you guys all
Mhm.
get better soon. We're thinking about you. Have you in our hearts. Just get well soon. So yes, animals are. I couldn't take care of my dog for 2 weeks. She was at her Aunt Jenny's house because I was too sick to take care of her. Cats are a little easier to take care of.
Right. Oof.
So yeah, I hadn't done a water change in 3 weeks. I finally changed the water in my tanks last night. I still haven't trimmed. You can see this jungle is
I know. It's,
out of control.
but yeah, I mean, you'll have people to send plants to
I
whenever
do,
you
and
get it
that's
from.
why I haven't trimmed because
Hmm.
I do have someone out there who's setting up a tank. So I've been growing out plants for her.
Yep, I've
So
been doing the same thing for that same someone. So my 90 is
yes.
pretty much looking like yours in terms of the
But
overgrowth.
at least I changed the water in it so the fish are in
Those
clean
poor
water.
rainbows, though, same as mine. They're just like, where
Yeah.
the hell do we swim?
Yeah. They're like, oh, we don't know where to go. And then my small tank, which you can't see, I want to redo that aquascape. I got all the plants in for it right as I was just like deathly ill. So I have all these tissue culture cups, which thankfully seem to be hanging in.
Good.
And I'll be building that scape out. I ordered even more rock for it because,
Cool.
you know, I gotta up my skills. I gotta up my skills because Stephen, you want to tell everyone something
Okay.
about your
Well,
weekend?
yeah. So we had a little team get together last minute to apply for the Fluval sponsored Scape competition that happened in Aquashella, Dallas. It also happened in Orlando, and they picked finalists for that. The finalists came to Dallas to also participate, and compete. But they were already going to go to Chicago, and then they were going to pick more finalists from this weekend. So our team consisted of me and Jenna and Brookley Bell and Jess from Aquatic Morning Show, and we did one hell of a escape, and we are in the finals, and we're going to Chicago.
Yay! So proud of you guys. You are all so amazing. And Stephen posted the pictures on Facebook. You can show them right here. That scape is beautiful.
Now, when I say we are going to Chicago, though,
Hmm.
doesn't include me. I
No.
will not be attending because I have already made plans to go to Fishtoberfest to
Mm-hmm.
definitely step out of my comfort zone over there. Now, Chicago would be a great excuse to be like, "Oh, sorry, can't do it now," but they already had the plane tickets and stuff for me.
You
So
can
it's
do
gonna
it.
be
You can do it and you'll have a good time. There's lots of good people there. Bigfoot, welcome.
thanks, Dennis. Welcome
Thank
to
you,
the mosh pit.
Dennis.
So
Fun place to be.
it's gonna be now Brookley and Jess and Jenna, and I'm thinking it's only three of them. We need a fourth. So
Who could it be? Who could it
yeah,
be?
what you think about that, Kelly?
Well, turns out Chicago is only 2.5 hours from my house. So maybe I'll just go. Because those ladies need someone over the height of 5'3"? I mean, they need someone who can reach the bottom of the deck.
Oh man, yeah. There's tweezers, but
Yeah.
yeah, there was a point at the end of the Scape where I had to go. I had to go do. Well, I thought I was going to be going to do an interview stream, and I was concerned, because Jenna was planting plants, and I'm like, do you need a step stool? Can you even reach the bottom? But yeah, they managed, and then I got back there just a few minutes before it ended.
Yeah.
Oh goodness, though.
Hard weekend for you guys. Hard weekend.
Aquascaping.
Aquascaping that intensely is hard work.
Yeah.
It's hard work. Annette says Fat Kitty can come to Fishtoberfest. I mean,
put him on a plane, and
I know. Put him on a plane. He can help you do your rap.
A wrap not happening at the beginning, then a red-eye flight to make this. Do you want to kill me, Zinger? Do you know how run down and exhausted? Oh my freaking god! I did not recover from Triple Crown before we had to leave and go to Dallas, and I've been sleep deprived since then, and dehydrated to the max.
Yeah.
The dehydration is real. I come from the swamp, and I constantly have water with me, and it's humid here. So we go to Dallas.
It's dry there. Dallas is supposed to be humid too. It's
27% humidity versus the 80% humidity.
80% humidity is pretty normal in Dallas. So they were having uncharacteristically dry weather.
Yeah, very dry. And pretty much anywhere I walked,
so hot.
I was straight up just drenched in sweat.
That's like Denver weather. I mean, it's so hot there and so dry.
Yeah.
Just
the sweat evaporated quickly, but I'm not used to being in that kind of climate. So you don't realize when your sweat's evaporating.
Well,
that
human beings are not meant to be in 100+ degrees. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you're used to. It's hard on your body.
For sure. It was a hot weekend.
Yeah.
And I mean, the thing is,
very hard.
The water, if they decide that they're going to do another summertime Dallas Aquashella, which I don't recommend, but sometimes the venue booking is what it is, and it's a good venue for it. The water needs to be everywhere, and not like a commodity, not something that's $3 for a bottle of water. So
yeah, that's disgusting.
Last year, the Fish Tuber booth had a case of water. It lasted the whole weekend. This year, they brought a case of water. It lasted half a day because it's freaking hot. And then that was gone. All of the soda, the Coke machines, they were sold out, including the bottled water. So you had the $3 bottled water at the concession stand. There was a vendor that was giving away bottled water at some point. I think it was to demonstrate how good their aquarium chillers were.
That's smart.
Yeah. But other than that, the drinking fountains were non-functional and had bags over them, out of order. Did they disable them for profit? Did they disable them because of COVID and spreading of germs, or were they just broken? Who knows?
Yeah, they need to do something about that. I mean, if you're paying $85 for a ticket, it should come with a couple bottles of water.
It should come. Well, I really think.
Or you should be able to bring your own water. Were they allowing patrons to bring in their own bottles?
Sure, you could bring in whatever. But I wasn't prepared for that. And I just think it wouldn't be so much to ask for every vendor or every couple of vendors to have, a big cooler and some cups with, full of ice water or something like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Very unhealthy water too. Yeah, gross.
gross
tap water, I guess.
tap
They're
water.
very hard water there.
Better than dying of thirst, I guess.
Hmm.
Yeah, that sucks. That sucks.
Yeah,
Ugh.
it was literally water everywhere and not a drop to drink. All the fish tanks.
Yeah. I mean, the good news is in October, Chicago usually has very mild weather, very pleasant.
Hmm.
Actually, Chicago in October is usually really nice. And the fall color is usually out too. So it's actually a really pretty time of year to be in the Midwest. So that should be less of a problem.
Yeah.
Hopefully, they'll put the tanks by a water supply. Because Stephen was telling me earlier that, like, he was just physically hauling 50 gallons of water to fill the tank
Right. There
and
were
wash all the rocks. And
everyone, yeah, at first before they brought us like this bin of water, I had a bucket of rocks I had to go wash in the bathroom. I just washed them in the bathroom sink. That's where a lot of people were filling things up and dumping things. There was one hose that you could fill up a trash can with. There weren't that many trash cans to go around either. They need more trash cans and pumps. But I think, yeah, for
yeah,
the Fluval Scape, the fact that we were constantly rinsing stuff, we had to keep things misted and moist. A sink by the scaping area would be super helpful.
yeah. I mean, now that we know that that can be a problem, like maybe we can just bring a trash can since we'll be driving.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. We definitely know what to bring and also
Yeah,
what not to
exactly.
bring.
And thankfully we have Jenna on our team who I'm sure will
Yeah.
organizing our overall.
Yep. She's got notes. Brookley's
Oh,
got notes for sure.
wonderful. Yeah, I'm very excited to help out. I'm, working on my skills. Brooklyn and I are talking about what fish to buy because I would like to just buy fish in advance
Yeah. I think
because then I
the
can
plan
have good
was,
quality fish from that I'll just order them from Dan's.
yeah.
Have good fish ready to go.
Yeah, the plan I think for this one is to buy them, at least a month in advance. And yeah, that's what I said. Like, if we're gonna get fish, let's just get them from Dan,
Yep,
so we know they're healthy. They're
yep,
gonna basically color up in a day.
yep.
Um, our plan, kind like our all of our plans were thrown out once we got there
Yeah.
because when we were under the impression, based on the rules, were a little bit ambiguous to us about supplies. It was like you can bring your own supplies, but you can't substitute anything that's provided by Fluval, in
Right.
like the brand, because it's a Fluval sponsored event. So
Right.
we
So
were
like
thinking,
Google
oh,
had tweezers for you. So you can't use your own tweezers. Yeah.
well,
But
yeah.
that's
Well, I mean, I think they were more like, don't change out the filter, don't change out the lights, that the big stuff, the heater, things that were on display. Which
right.
why would we do that anyway? Because
You
two
don't want to pay
Fluval
the money.
3.0s.
Fluval
Um,
makes good heaters and
but we
lights.
also thought that meant we could bring hardscape. And then so we did. We bought 300 something dollars worth of hardscape at our local fish store.
So much
We
money.
took up a lot of space. We hauled it there. We had
Mhm.
like 50 pounds of mountain stone and four nice pieces of spider wood and a plan. We got there. We were told, no, we got to use the hardscape provided. They
Yeah.
had spider wood, they had manzanita wood, they had ghost wood, and some other stuff that I can't think of right now.
Yeah.
Just not the pieces that we were wanting. And
Yeah.
we ended up going with manzanita.
I like manzanita wood personally. I
I
like it
think,
in a tank. I don't like spider wood in a tank. Now it doesn't matter because this is a temporary aquascape. But
right.
you know, yeah. I mean, the good thing is about this is like I'm very good at working on the fly. Like I'm very good at just making decisions quickly. And I mean, I may not be as good at it as other people, but I'm very adaptable and I'm very fast.
Well, being
So
adaptable for this is important because,
yeah,
once you find out, like, You have to do what you have to use what they provide. There
Mhm.
is really no point in lamenting it. You just got to get started.
Yeah, and
So
I'm very adaptable. I'm very
yep,
unflappable.
good, good.
So hopefully
And
I will do Team P proud. I mean, I'll change my last name to Kelley Foreman, Phoreman,
nice.
like Matt wants me to.
So our team name is actually Crew of Louisiana,
We're-
although our I think what ended up being on like the image of like all the Scape teams was like a placeholder name, Fantastic Four.
Hmm.
But since you're not from Louisiana, I think Fantastic Four will work just fine.
Yeah, that'll work just fine. And Jake will be there being our Sherpa. He will haul things. We'll set up the filter. He will he will just carry he'll just do whatever you tell him to do.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what my job was, manual labor,
Yeah.
and I got pulled away so many times to like I had to did an interview. Well, I was going to do an
Right.
interview with Jason at Prime Time on Saturday. It got pushed to Sunday. Anyway,
Yeah. Good
um,
news is I'm not famous like Steven is, so no one will want to interview me.
yeah, yeah, totally famous. There was definitely a shortage of fish tubers there because
Oh,
of Triple Crown.
right.
You know,
Yeah,
so
people. Yeah, it's, as you found
Ed,
out,
James, and
doing both
Lefty.
is hard.
Yeah, Ed, James, and Lefty couldn't make it, and they do a lot. Ed
I like
especially.
Fantastic Four. Paul Sotero, you're a smart man. I like that. That's good. That's good.
Yeah. So yeah, there was an interview. I don't know if they'll do I guess they'll do another interview, but
I
yeah.
mean, if they make me interview, it's fine. But I'm not famous like Steven is, so I'm just a guest. I'm just a guest on What Your Plants. That's all I am.
They'll probably interview you because they haven't seen you before.
That's fine. They can interview me. So yeah, I mean, I'm excited to go. Jake's even kind of excited. He's like, "Is it like a cooking competition?" I'm like, "Kind of. I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
kind of like
the
that."
stress level, like it was, I don't know. I wanted it to be fun. Like that's
Yeah,
why I was part of it because most of my experience in like doing aquascapes is having fun.
yeah,
And I really wanted it to be fun. It was
yeah.
it was very stressful for a multitude of reasons. The the creatorscape, the one where we were just up there for like 40 minutes,
That was fun. I
that
thought.
was fun.
Yeah,
Got to scape and chat with Taylor of Simply Betta. Had fun with
yeah.
that. Hey Carrie.
So
Um
Stevo has a question. Any glue with cyanoacrylate is good for fisher tanks. Yeah, anyone is fine. I think I kind of choose it based on what has the most convenient bottle and just applicator. So lately I'm using the Gorilla Glue brand, which I like because I like the bottle. So, but any cyanoacrylate is fine.
mhm. So the video, Ivy had asked for a video of the scape off. So the Fluval one, they were filming it and doing interviews, and I think they're editing it into something like maybe reality TV. Like I don't know what they're gonna do.
Yeah,
But you know they were filming stuff and talking to people. So
yeah.
be
I
curious
hate
how
being
that.
filmed. I hate being photographed. But
Well,
whatever, I'll do it.
it's
Like
going to happen.
it's gonna happen. So
Yeah. But the creatorscape, that was like there was some stuff on the stage, and you just use what you got,
I
and
thought your scoop looked really nice for that.
I appreciate. I did not place. I
I
don't
think
remember
a lot of that's
who.
a popularity contest. I mean,
I think they were actually judged anonymously this time, but I don't know what I'm doing up there, and also it's hot, and I'm
you were tired and
yeah.
whatever. I didn't see the other scapes, so I don't know. I just thought yours looked nice.
Yeah, There's some good ones. Oh,
Yeah.
Bex is here. Oh, okay. Not we're lurking and working.
So
Got it.
Scuba Stevo, Gorilla Glue makes a lot of different glues. Just make sure it's the one that's cyanoacrylate.
Right, right.
I use it. No fish have died. So
So how about we take a look at all the 9 Fluval scapes? And actually, we're going to start with number 9 because I went in reverse order from right to left when I took photos.
Fishimon says now that Kelley is on the team, first place is given. No offense to Stephen B. I mean, this tank behind me would suggest otherwise. It's a dumpster fire.
Well, I had no input on the scape, honestly. I was just doing manual labor and like trying to move things along, probably not doing that great of a job with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the manual labor was a lot of work.
It was.
That's
It
why,
was.
like, thank goodness Jake will be with us because I can't do that kind of manual labor. I can't haul that. I can't haul water and rocks like that. So.
Yep, and then also lifting bags of sand and substrate. And
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I just need a body to do that. So, and Josh, I hope, is coming too. So that's good to have 2 bodies just doing labor. That's nice.
Yep.
No offense to Jenna and Brooklyn and hopefully Jess. They are also. Jess is very strong though for her size. She's a farm girl.
Yeah. Also, Jess was kind of the same as me, where she had other obligations there, like she was already going to be doing interviews and stuff.
Yeah.
So,
whereas Brooklyn and I are there to work. We're there to escape.
and Jenna too. Like Jenna was there the entire time, other than like bathroom and getting food. Like she was on her feet the entire time.
Jenna is there for logistics. I need Jenna to do things like time keep and just to be Jenna. She's the project manager. That's what we need her for. So
hammering of rocks. Yeah.
That's awesome. Jenna, you're awesome. I'm so excited to be working with you on this. I think it's going to go well. And now Brooklyn knows what to expect. So, like, she can be mentally prepared, and Jenna knows what to expect.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Like, there's no change in the rules. You got the stuff that they provide, and what else are you gonna do? You know, other than
and even if they completely change the rules, I'll be fine. I'll be fine. I'm very adaptable.
So looking at these scapes, it's
a beautiful scape from Garden of Eder.
Yep.
I really love the boldness of their woodwork. I think tying on and gluing on all that moss is like a lot of work. I love the detail at the bottom of this scape. The bottom left corner, I think, is really nice. It doesn't have a clear focal point. I mean, it does kind of. There are a couple of branches that I think could have been placed a little differently, but I do like that your eye leads you to a good golden ratio point. I think it's a great scape. I think you did a good job. There's a lot of drama there. Like, good job, guys. I don't know if he watches this stream, but like,
I don't think so. I think Shelby might though.
Shelby, I think you did a great job. I really love the drama of this scape. And
I gotta say,
I'm not as good at scaping with wood or moss. That's a real like deficiency because I don't like wood or moss that much. But I think you did a great job.
I gotta say, like talking to Shelby, I would say that she's the real hero of the event in terms of like the Grant and Shelby team, because she was there working on the scape. They also had a booth. She was running the booth too. Like every time I saw her, she was busy. She was doing a lot.
I can't
So
wait to meet them. I think they're really cool people. And this is a beautiful scape. Tough competition for us.
yeah, they already won in Orlando.
Yeah.
So they were already going to be a finalist, and they just came back and proved, that they were worthy of that
Yeah.
title.
Yeah, this is a great scape. I think this is very exciting. Very exciting scape.
Yep, I agree, Matt. Like like talking to her, she does a lot of the behind the scenes work that she doesn't always get credit for. Like
Yeah.
she does the editing, and now as the person who does editing, I understand how time consuming that is and tedious.
Yeah.
So there's that one. And of course, and there's these bonus ribbons. So we got most creative, best use of hardscape materials, best use of plants, best use of depth and space.
It's a
So
great
first
scape.
place.
It's a great scape.
All
They did a
right.
really good job.
They'll be at the Clash, Kelley. Hint, hint. Well, you know what, Rico? They're also going to be at Aquashella, Chicago. So
Yeah, and the Clash is really close. It's like what, 2 weeks before this? Yeah, I don't think I
uh,
could do both. Sorry, Rico. I wasn't planning to go to the Clash anyways. So
yeah,
I mean, this is 2.5 hours from my house, so it's like pretty easy to go.
it's okay, Zinger. I still love you. I posted 3 tanks that I liked, including ours, and I was like, okay, y'all tell me without knowing
I
who
mean,
is which one you like.
I mean that was not a bad scape. I thought it lacked a lot of the drama, and this scape tells a story and it leads you to a place, and I think that's the mark of a good scape.
And they put a lot of work in. So as
Yeah,
I go through
oh,
these,
I
I
can
can tell
tell.
you there were 9 teams, but really in terms of utilizing every freaking minute of the time allowed, it was really like 3 or 4 teams of the 9 that were
Yeah.
doing that. Grant and Shelby being one of them for sure. Like
So is this
they
the
were,
two of them working together?
I think so. I think they had a friend come with them who also helped run the booth while they both were working on the skate.
Yeah.
And that was about the only relief that they had. But yeah, like both of them were breaking these branches. Like they really made this. It wasn't just they found a nice piece of wood. They made this piece of wood.
No,
Out of
I
different.
can tell because you don't just get lucky with wood like that. You have to.
Right.
Yeah. No, I'm really impressed. I think this is a good scape, and does it have things that can be improved? Yes, but I mean, they did this in 8 hours with the materials they had.
12 hours basically,
12
because
hours,
you get
but with
4
the
hours on
materials.
Friday and
Yeah,
8.
with the materials they had. It's interesting to think how this would grow out. I mean, they had to dismantle it to take it home, so who knows? I mean, this scape will
Well,
probably never grow out because, you know,
so yeah, that was the other thing. We were allowed to keep the tanks as part of the contest. Like they're the $200 entry fee, but you get to take home this 40-gallon rimless tank and a Fluval 407 with a spray bar, a set of aquascaping tools, a Fluval heater, and 2 Fluval 3.0 lights, 36 inches. Now, just that filter alone, the canister filter, is over $200. You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
and
I mean, and
whatever.
that's a good filter. I've had that filter before, and it's nice.
It seems a little much for this tank, but with a spray bar, it's fine.
Yeah, I am. And I use those lights. So is this the same footprint as a 40 breeder, just taller?
Yeah, it's 20 inches tall, but it's still
Yeah,
36 by 18.
that's good to know. So, and I assume you didn't get a stand, right?
The stand was just some wood slapped together, painted, and with the Fluval logo. I didn't want that anyway. But I have a rack, and I can, if I needed a stand, I can build a stand way better than what they provided. With like doors and stuff. Also allowed to keep substrate, so we brought home a bunch of stratum,
That's
which,
nice.
yeah, I mean, we probably
I
brought
like
home
stratum.
uh we probably brought home about $1,000 worth of equipment just for
That's
being part of
fantastic.
the
And
competition.
I didn't know they were going to give a setup to you and Brookley.
Yeah, so we'll get to that in a second about why that happened. So let's go. Oh, that's not the right direction. There we go.
That was Big Kitty, Annette. That was Big Kitty. That is Jake's favorite cat. They're bros.
So
So
this
this is the
is,
one Zenny liked best, right?
yes, and I also took a picture of it as one of the top for me. It didn't place, but it did get best use of color and most inspirational
Mm.
ribbons.
This is a
So it's
very
like,
George Farmer-esque scape. He does a lot of island scapes. There are many good things about this scape. Um, it's not near as good as Garden of Eaters.
I would agree with that.
I'm not a huge fan of islandscapes in general. I think they're harder to tell a story with them. Also, I just don't really like those rocks with
You
that
know,
wood.
we almost used, well, there was like a jade version of those rocks that we almost used because I thought if we can get those rocks like broken up and
Yeah.
still keep all of the stripes going the same direction,
Oh,
it would
yeah.
look fantastic. But what happened with those rocks is they were practically impossible to break. Like
Oh, God.
I smacked the shit out of them with a crowbar and a big hammer, and I managed to like chip off a chunk of it.
Yeah.
So there were not rocks for breaking, and then you can see in the
Yeah.
scape they used whole chunks that they.
And the other thing, I can't tell what plants they use, but when this thing grows out, it's just going to be a wall of plants in the back. Like, it's not going to preserve. Well, are those crypts? I can't tell
So they
what's
provided a
around.
lot of stem plants. Um, and there's some rotala back there. We've got Java fern, Anubias. Those are either crypts or swords that were provided. This looks
Yeah.
like dwarf sage down here. Some tripartita, Japan. Uh,
Yeah.
looks like a lily or lotus.
Huh.
And
You always have to think about what these will look like grown out because you
yeah,
have someone judging like George Farmer who can
yeah.
visualize that.
Well, that was the other thing. We were allowed to bring our own plants, thankfully, and we
Yeah.
brought a lot. We probably didn't bring enough of everything that we
Yeah.
wanted, but we
But
did
now
have a
that
lot.
we know, like
Yes.
Jenna and Brookley and I can really, really grow up plants. Like I'm already looking at like I have like a huge, huge block of Anubias Nana Petite I can sacrifice. I have like a bunch of crypticorn lucens I can sacrifice. Like I can grow plant mass for us.
And so,
So,
if
and
you're
so can you.
considering, one of the criteria was like scape sanity. And that's kind of
Yeah.
like when you get the scape home, what's it going to look like? How easy is it going to be to maintain? Is it realistic?
Yeah.
And the plants that they provided were almost 100% of them were in their immersed form.
Hmm.
And so you plant all that stuff, and sure, it looks great for a day, might look great
Yeah.
for a few days to a week, and then the leaves start melting, and basically most of them completely change the way they look. Like what an
Yeah.
immersed crypt looks like versus what it looks like after it's submerged, completely
Yeah.
different.
No, and definitely, I don't know if that would count against people or not, but I think that having your own plants that you've lovingly grown out has
Yes.
got to count for something because it shows that you can grow plants. So the other thing that I was thinking of for this is to do a trick from Green Aqua and just, I mean, I don't know, just bring like 20 tissue culture cups of foreground plants. I
Yeah.
mean,
So I
it
think
makes
the
a
lesson
difference.
learned from this is that
Yeah.
we need about 3 times as many epiphytes as we brought.
Yeah, and I'm
And
growing out my Java ferns for that. But if you just spend the money on foreground plants, you can get a foreground that's almost looks like it's grown in. And that's the green aqua trick. They plant
Mm.
like 3 times as heavy as you normally would. And
So I was looking at
yeah.
Chad, just confirm. No, Zinger is right. This was the one that she picked. We didn't post Victoria Lee's. We posted this one as part of the 3 for people in Discord to vote on.
Okay.
And this was the
Oh, and
bottom one.
Victoria will be there. She is really cool. I think she's a good artist too.
Yeah, it was great to meet her in person.
Yeah, I can't
She's
wait to
very
meet
nice.
her.
We escaped next to her.
I think she's really cool. She's a really cool artist.
Yep. So yeah, Zen picked this one. She said, "In this situation, I'm a bottom."
You know what, Zenny? You like what you like.
Yeah,
And
I gave her
that's
some
okay.
shit for it, but that's all right.
That's okay.
So there's that one. Now here's Scape 7. I didn't take a picture of it because I personally was like kind of meh on it, but it placed and it's moving on. I don't know who made it.
I
So
mean, there
apologies.
are good things about this scape. I do think that they did some really good woodwork. Where they fall down is like the the foreground. Like it's really just empty.
Needs more
It needs
detail
some
stones
detail
or
work. It needs some plants there. I
like
mean,
little tufts of hair grass or thin leaf plant
yeah, some
around
good
the base of
crypt
the rocks.
softening those edges. It just
Mm.
it's like they forgot about the foreground. They just dumped sand there and went, all right. But you know,
There were a lot
I
of
mean, there are good
people.
things about this scape. I think that this one, also that left side is really like, what's even happening there? There's nothing there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they
So
they
did anybody
supplied.
put backgrounds on tanks? Like, could you
You were
bring that?
allowed to put background. So you saw Grant. He used a frosted glass with a white light on the back.
See, that's what I was thinking is we should bring some, of those, what are they, vinyl tank backgrounds, because I think that makes a huge difference. We can
Mm.
bring black, white, and frosted, and so
Yeah.
we have options.
Yep.
And they're quick to
That's what we
put
use.
on. They're quick
I
to put
brought
on.
my current Serene background kit with
Oh,
us.
nice. Yeah, I've never used one of those, but that's another nice thing just to have that option, because
Yeah.
this is a tank that desperately needs a background.
Yeah, a lot of them didn't have backgrounds. And also, as I said, like there was only a few of us that utilized the whole time. Most people, in fact, were
Yeah.
done after 4 hours on day
Yeah, and I
one.
could tell this one they just didn't put time in.
Yeah, this was probably one that was just they were done on day one. They were like, I'm
And
gonna go enjoy the event.
and I get it. I get it.
Yeah. This looks like something that I would do.
Yeah.
Like not caring.
I think a white background would be interesting, Berkeley. I've actually never done a tank with a white background because I make tanks for longevity, and I think black backgrounds work better for longevity. But I would love to try a white background, and yeah, this tank is like this tank. They didn't even try.
It got honorable mention.
Well,
But hey, it's
you know
not
what?
layered.
We're
It's not a
all
layered
learning.
substrate. Don't you like that? They use all stratum.
I do like using all stratum, but for an aquascaping competition, it's probably good to have some detail work with sand. I
Yeah.
don't like that for longevity,
And
but this is not scaping for longevity.
aren't you supposed to hide the saw marks like these stumps at the
Yeah,
end?
the green aqua guys, they always say break your wood.
Yeah, I think that's a lot. That's what Grant was doing.
Yeah,
He was actually hammering the wood,
yeah,
snapping the wood like it
because you
was.
want it to look natural,
Uh,
and you don't
no,
see how
Jenna, not
much.
everyone got honorable mention. We'll get to that in a second.
Oh no.
Okay, so let's move on to tank
So,
4.
Bunny Viper, well, she's asking Brooklyn, but we could talk about this too. Any tips on planting tissue cultures? So she rinses the gel off and then has trouble getting them to stay in sand. You plant them really deep. So I actually plant them. I don't really use sand a whole lot. I use like Fluval stratum and stuff, and I can get them to stay. Another tip for getting like Monte Carlo to stay put, this I learned from Bentley Pasco, is use glass plates.
Yep.
So I've gotten whole carpets to grow out in here by covering them in glass plates, and it really works. You want to keep them and like don't be tempted to move them for at least 3 weeks. Like, gotta keep it put.
Hmm.
But then once you take it off, that lawn will really spread. So that's my tip. Lady Diane, I hope you are feeling better. I'm thinking about you. I have you in my heart. Took me 2 weeks, but I'm there. So I hope you get there too.
Yeah.
Well, I'm thinking about you.
So
So yeah,
this
this
is
one,
definitely where all the Java fern went that was on the table.
boy, that is true. You
Mhm.
know, they could have had a good scape if they would have taken a hard scape and gone, but they put it all in the middle. That the direction of the energy of those lines is all going to the left.
Yep. And I
So
don't
they
see a focal point here either.
no, but if they had moved that all to the right, they would have had it leading your eye to a pathway.
Hmm.
So
Check this
this
one
one
out.
just they didn't finish it.
Yeah. Hence, Brooklyn got to take this tank home because, like, I'll be damned if the people who did this get to go and take the tank home, because that's just kind of like, oh, I'll pay the entry fee and I'll toss some rocks and one of the nicest pieces of wood that was at the event
Yeah, that's a nice piece
in
of
there,
wood. And wow.
and
I
just the
mean, the thing
potted
is this
plants.
is like if they had just worked on it, they could have turned that into kind of a good scape because if they had covered that with moss and planted it, I mean it does have a V shape.
Right.
I think
They also mix rocks too. If you notice, there's different kinds of
yeah,
rocks in
don't
there.
mix rocks. Don't mix rocks. Unless you have them not showing, like if you need them as a base layer. But yeah, don't mix rocks.
Right.
Yeah, that wood it's a great piece of wood, but
So they did this on Friday, and they left long before the long before the competition was like, or long before they called time on us. They made us quit at like 8 p.m. on Friday because they got us started at 4 p.m.
it
Um,
doesn't seem like they had enough rocks. It's at this competition. Am I correct about that?
okay, they had enough rocks. They just the selection of rocks,
Huh,
it made it challenging because
that
most of
sucks.
them, there was the ones with the stripes like I showed you that were impossible to break, and then there was a
Because rocks like
lot of
these are
glitter.
not good rocks in my opinion. Like,
It
there's no
wouldn't be my choice. I don't know if that
no. I
was
like rocks with a little bit more less smoothness and more roughness to them, so you can build something.
yeah, like you would think they would have the basics of mountain stone,
Yeah.
dragonstone. So they were called Alpine Jade and then like glitter or something. I don't remember what the exact names were, but there were a lot of them that just there were some that looked like straight up fool's gold. They were so glittery. They had so many metal shards in there.
I mean, that's stuff like that is fun around a pond, but that's a
Mhm.
different deal. And Bex is right. Mixing rocks and mixing wood is generally a no-no, except for mixing little branches.
Yeah.
Yes, you can add little branches to like little details.
Yep, that was a
Of a
plan too.
very
We had
nice
actually
home.
got a bundle of little viney type branches from the fish store packed together in a rubber band that we intended to.
And
Yeah,
could use any of it. So
but you know what? Jenna's got a 55, and now Brooklyn and I have brand new 50-gallon rimless
that's
tank.
right. And Brooklyn's got a lot of practicing to do. So
Yep. I wonder if it's the same tank.
so
Like,
Sean said that won't happen again with bad choice of rocks. That's good because I don't see a lot of good looking rocks at this. I mean, it kind of felt like you were forced to do a woodscape. Because the wood selection looks pretty decent.
Bex has been studying aquascaping books. She sent me to she sent me the Sunken Gardens book, and then she sent me the George Farmer book.
Yeah,
And
those are good books.
and then Jenna went and got that book signed for me by George Farmer.
Oh, he seems like the nicest man.
Yeah, he wrote "I Heart Steven" in the book.
Oh,
He doesn't even know me.
he seems like a really nice man who just wants people to aquascape and
Mm-hmm.
be happy.
Yeah, and so also they stuck these plants in here on Friday. Didn't do anything.
And then nobody could use them, and they all died.
Yeah. Actually, I stole one of the. Well, I didn't steal. I got it with permission. One of the Scarlet Temples out of here, and maybe it'll be okay. But
Well, because it was gonna die.
right, yeah. I mean, a lot of them were already dried out pretty well on Friday. Okay, so
Garden says only me and Jenna can heart stuff in. Well, I mean, George Farmer. It's George Farmer.
yeah.
He
Sorry,
likes to aquascape without a shirt on Instagram because it's too hot there.
I forgot to bring Purigen with me, so we were.
Oh,
Yeah, a lot of the tanks were kind of milky. I wish this would have cleared up before we had to like break everything down. I think when the water was crystal clear, it would have just been perfect. But
yeah, that would have been nice. There's a very good. I think you did a great job with the rocks, with those rocks.
Yep, and these were like the most glittery of the rocks, but I went to the table and I like just started wetting all the rocks, and these got so dark after I wetted them, and I'm like, this contrast against the sand is going to look really good.
Yeah.
And I actually heard people commenting on that as they were passing by.
I think it does look really good. I mean, if I were going to criticize the Scape, I mean, first of all, let's talk about the things I like about it, because we all want to learn.
Sandwich.
Yeah. So I really like the V shape. I really like that there's a clear golden ratio. I feel like the Scape tells a story, that your eye is led to a path. If I were to criticize it, I would like to see a little bit more height built in the islands. That's hard to do given the rock and the time that you had. But if you could build more height, you would get more layers.
Yeah. The goal was to basically
just tilt a little bit to the right, because you want it pointing toward that golden ratio point. But you guys all know all that. I love the choice of wood. I love the plants, look great. I think that this Scape is going to grow out and look really, really good.
Yeah, the goal was definitely we wanted to build up the sides completely.
Yeah. And I love the detail work you did in the foreground. I love that you didn't ignore that, because it looks complete that way. So I think there's a lot of really great things about this Scape.
Zinger, this was a frosted background with an LED.
Yeah, because I can see your little sunrise at the bottom. So yeah, there are a lot of really great things about this Scape. And Brooklyn, you should be really proud of it, because it's good. And there's a reason you're moving on to the next level, because it's really good. And this was your first ever competition. Was not Grant and Shelby's first competition.
And also she had to start from scratch.
Yep.
Like there was all the plans we had.
Yeah.
Gone.
So I think it's really good. And I think it deserved its ribbons. So you can be proud of yourself and recognize that you have room to grow at the same time. You can hold both of those in the same space.
Me and Jesse were laying in the hotel grass explaining why trees have leaves to George Farmer.
Yeah, he's so cute.
Let's see. A few things. Oh, Kyle had a few things to do. Dumping water. Okay, let's see. Moving on. And then here's, so we got most creative and most inspirational as well. And then here's the last one, Scape number 1.
They really took a whole lot of swords. Wow, that's gonna grow out crazy.
That's true. Immersed grown swords, way different, way smaller. Those swords will grow as much as the space around them allows.
Yeah.
And this one, yeah, this one was Victoria Lee's. So she was scaping right next to us.
Okay.
And also, she was doing most of this by herself. Like, she had a scaping partner
Man,
that just kind of bailed on her after the second day.
that's so hard doing all that lifting and hauling water and
She had her boyfriend to help a little bit, I think, on the second day.
oh, that's good.
But yeah, she didn't have a full team like we did.
That's tough. That's tough. Well,
And
plus, she couldn't really bring anything from home because, like, she flew there, I'm sure.
yeah, and also she had to leave. She had to leave everything, like the free stuff.
Oh, that's
So not only did we get another tank from that group that didn't finish, but she gave us her Fluval 407. So
oh, that
yeah,
was
we had
very
3
kind of her.
407. She gave a light to somebody else. She was able to bring one of the lights with her, which not bad, because I mean that's pretty decent.
Yeah, Brooklyn, that's not reasonable. You shouldn't be critiquing yourself like you've been at it for years. No, that's not reasonable. Would you tell that to a friend? You think about that. When you critique yourself, would you give that criticism to a friend? You wouldn't.
True.
You wouldn't do
And
that.
also the consideration that there were other people like helping on the Scape as well.
Yeah. So I mean, you can point out things that you want to improve on, but you have to recognize that it got second place, and the tank that got first place was really good.
Hmm.
So be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself like you would be to a friend. You wouldn't say that to me. You wouldn't say that to Steven. Be
Uh,
kind to yourself.
I like the angelfish in here.
Those are nice fish. Those are nice fish. Angelfish are exciting in Escape. I don't
Yeah.
really like angelfish, but they do look good in Escape.
I wonder if it's even in the photo. Wait, let's Scape 7. I don't even know if I got the Rasboras in the photo. So our plan, before we had to change hardscapes, we were bringing with us some long fin rosy barbs, and we also bought some additional female neon rosy barbs.
They just wouldn't
And
match that. Yeah.
yeah, the long fin fish with pokey things, not so great. So we didn't use those. So we just went around and Jenna found some sparkling gouramis, which are pretty, and then some chili rasboras, which should be pretty, but
Not
I don't
enough
even
of
remember
them.
the name of the shop. There wasn't enough of them, but also
Yeah.
like a lot of them died overnight. They never colored up either. They're bad. They're
Yeah.
just
They're
bad stock.
they're chili rasboras from anywhere but Dan's Fish. Unless you get them from a breeder. Like if you got Foxy's Fishes bred chili rasboras, like you would
Mm.
know they would be good. But it's hard to find good tiny rasboras. The blue axelrod the rasboras that I got from Dan, all of them lived. But I
Nice.
don't think I don't think that'd be true from another seller.
No,
But
no.
we're gonna buy our fish ahead of time
Yes.
so we can get good quality stock. And since we have 2 months, like I can maybe get Dan to order us something special since we're buying a whole tank of it.
Yeah.
So, like if we wanted, I don't know, 200 chili rasboras or something like that, he could get it. I don't really want 200 chili rasboras.
So what we really wanted to do was also like get Kubatai rasboras. We were thinking about that on
Those
Friday.
are
By the
nice.
time we made the decision, they were gone.
Yeah.
Blue axle-rods would be cool in here too.
I love them. With a 50-gallon tank, you need
100?
at least, yeah, probably 100. Because I have in a 10-gallon, I have 22 of them. It's a good amount. It's a good amount. Yeah, 100.
And the chilies were looking cool as they were like swimming around the tank in a group, but they had no color to them.
So Jenna says we need to consider a fish that can deal with decent current, work in any scape, and can go without a lid. Yeah, that's good advice.
Do
So that,
Sugamigills jump? Are they jumping when you
yeah,
try?
they do
I
jump.
thought so.
They do jump. It's like I would love to do a scape with like 20 Kamaka rainbows, but can't keep rainbows without a lid. Can't do it. Can't do it. But maybe like Danio Chopre would look really good. I really like those. Silver tip tetras. I was thinking about like a huge school of those would look really nice because they school really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. So we'll have to think about that. Or we could do an interesting tetra. Might be worth asking Dan what unique tetra looks good in the shop and buying a bunch of those.
We were thinking about Ember Tetras because they are dirt cheap and we could have got like 1,000 of them.
You know what? Another good fish that looks awesome in an aquascape and is super cheap. Like, what are those rasboras? The regular rasboras, like pork chop, lamb chop.
Yeah, lamb chop, pork chop, rasbora. Yeah.
Yeah, those look so good. They school so good, and they're hardy and they're cheap as dirt. Geek Boy suggests ruby tetra. I don't know that fish, Geek Boy. I'll have to look that up. But I'm interested. So I mean that's something to think about. I think maybe a big school of some tetra or some rasbora might be what we get in advance. So I don't know, that warrants some thought, but I would like to buy our fish ahead of time so they're quality and we have enough stock. So, but a lot of learning to do. You guys can feel really proud of what you accomplished though, what you did. And I mean, I'm excited to be part of it. I'm excited to be helping out.
I'm so glad you're going in my place though. Like that's gonna be you're definitely an upgrade from me.
Well,
maybe you can't do the manual labor, but you also
we need someone who can reach the bottom of the tank. Because Jenna and Brooklyn and Jess are super talented, but they're not that tall. So I can maybe bring them a step stool though.
Tell you what though, trying to tweezer plants in a tank full of manzanita wood is frustrating as hell.
Yeah, it's not easy. I hate woodscapes. I love rockscapes. I'm like Tommy from Green Aqua. Just one Iwagumi. Just one Iwagumi. He hates working with wood.
I'm also glad that like if you saw these rocks out of the water, they are just like straight up like chunks of glitter.
Yeah.
All over.
They look really good though.
Yeah.
They look really good.
Like it look like glitter in the tank once they're wet, but they have a decent like little bit of shimmer to them because of the metal flakes in them.
Yeah, that's a good lesson is that you can't judge a rock until it's wet.
Yep.
So speaking of rocks, so I have the rocks that I picked out with Bex, but I just ordered I think 50 pounds more of that same rock from Tommy Ferragamo. He sent me the picture of them, and so I can just start playing and getting better. Because I want to get better at building height because that's how you create layers. I'm very inspired right now by Brazilian aquascapes. You can look that up. They're really cool. Lots of layers, lots of plants. So, but
Austin
we have
has
to
come in
work.
asking how our tank finished. So we are qualified for finals. So you're going to Chicago,
Woo!
but
Hi,
I won't
Austin.
make it. So Kelley will be going in my
Yeah.
place.
Poor
Austin, are you
Brooklyn.
streaming in a minute?
And Brooklyn, I will try to I'll get you a step stool. I don't actually own a step stool because I'm tall, but I'll make sure that we get one for you because I don't want anyone hurting their calves because you ladies, you need to be able to reach the bottom of the tank too. So.
Yep, we have step stools for Jenna and the children's.
Yeah, I've never, I mean, I don't know, never had to have a step stool.
Oh.
Because when you're taller, you also have longer arms. So I have a pretty long reach. I can reach
Yeah.
the bottom and back of my 90, and it's on a tall stand. So.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
Soon, but
All right.
take your time, Austin says. Well, maybe we should see if does anyone have any questions?
Sure.
So yeah, Jenna, you don't need to fly with the steps. I'll bring one. So,
and also, Kelley, if you're the only person driving, it sounds like you're going to be coming home with tank number 4.
Yeah, so I was
house.
thinking about that. That's why I probably need to order a stand in advance, and that's why I want to like kind of strong arm the fish choice a little bit because I want to have fish I
Yeah.
want to
Yeah, for sure. Now, I don't
mean,
know
that's
for
why.
sure if like the next tank is going to be another rimless like that.
Yeah,
'Cause-
I looked at the rules and it said the dimensions that were the same one that you have. I mean, I would really, really like to have a tank full of kamakas as a Scape, but they've got to have a lid. They have to have a lid. They have to have a lid. I mean, I suppose I could get a lid for a rimless tank. I don't know. I got to think about that. But
Probably
sometime
wouldn't want to
I
do a
will.
lid on the Scape, like for the contest.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, we'll think about it. But I've been looking at my space, and I do have room for another 3-foot tank.
Nice.
Was not planning on having another tank.
So you'll have and then you'll have
4
2
tanks.
Fluval 3.0s.
Yeah, which who knows if I'll keep those lights? Maybe I'll switch it to a
Chahiros.
maybe I will. I don't know. I mean, I do like Fluval 3.0s. I think they're fine. I just don't also like the Chihiros lights. So. I don't know, but Brooklyn says I'll ship one to Kelley's house. Yeah, because you guys have to have a steps tool, because that way you're on parity with me. You can do all the planting and whatever you want. I don't want anyone hurting their. You can't stand on your toes that long. You'll hurt yourself. And Jess needs to wear flats.
I forgot to point something out. Look at that tank. And that one. And the rest. Okay. Look at ours. You notice any difference in the actual glass box itself?
Does it have a rim?
On the bottom, it does. Also, look at the edge.
Oh, yours is black silicone.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you happen?
So apparently, when they were getting their they're getting all the tanks in. 2 of them were broken in transit, so they had to do quick last minute substitutions. Now, we were not assigned our tanks. We just walked over there and staked one out. None of us noticed that, and it wasn't just this one. Also, Victoria's was also the same. So there were 2 broken tanks on the ends that they put there. Didn't notice it at all. Victoria didn't even notice it until we were well into it. Everyone had picked their tanks. And so this was, Brooklyn does not like black silicone. I personally do like black silicone. So she wasn't going to take this tank.
Yeah.
unless we were able to like trade it out or substitute it or something like that.
Yeah, I prefer clear silicone too.
And I don't give a crap. So I'm
Yeah.
just like,
I mean,
oh
if
my
I'm going to
God,
have
it's
a rimless
rimless.
tank, which I
Yeah.
guess now I do have a rimless tank because I just bought one, which I also bought a lid for it. It wasn't that expensive. I got it from Boost Plant. I think it was $25, which is not too bad.
Mm-hmm.
So, because, you know, cats, I got to have lids. Cats, man, cats.
Berkeley says I was seriously on fire, mad about that the tank
Mhm.
rim and silicone, and yes, she was.
But if we end up with a tank with black silicone, we're just gonna deal.
Absolutely.
That's right. No matter what they throw at us, we're gonna be fine. We're gonna be fine. We'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
They could have us scaping with Swiss cheese and cakes. We will be fine.
Ooh, that would look cool until you add water.
We would have to eat it first. But we will be fine. We will be fine. If they give us crappy rocks, we'll be fine. Crappy wood, we'll be fine. We'll just make it work. Because everybody will have crappy rocks and wood. So we'll make it work. We'll make it work.
I used Dragonstone for the creator scape, and it was just raw, unwashed, gross Dragonstone. And so most of my time on stage, I was waiting for a bucket of water to be brought to me. And then finally I could rinse them. But yeah, it was gross.
Yeah, I mean, because ideally you want to just hose it off. I mean, I always blast mine with the hose. Yeah, that's right, Brennan. Go to war with the army you have. That's right. Make it work.
Whoever grabbed all that spider wood. If Diane's talking about this tank, this is Manzanita, and we did literally grab all the Manzanita. However, we didn't start with that. Everyone else had chosen their wood, so we weren't like just being dicks and grabbing all the Manzanita before anyone else could get it.
Other people got other good wood. I would
Yeah.
say that the wood choices at this competition were pretty good. I think the rock choices were left much more to be desired.
I'm glad we went with the Manzanita. We were the only, like, our tank looks so much different from everyone.
I like Manzanita. Also, I like the longevity of it. I don't like spiderwood personally. I've had a bad experience with it. I have a tank right now that is an algae choke disaster that's full of mulm that I can't keep clean because it degrades so fast. Kelley, other people got better wood. All right. Yeah, Manzanita though is hard, which is good in wood. And it's very, very good longevity, but it still sinks relatively quickly. So it's a good.
Yeah, I wouldn't count on no surprises in Chicago. They could throw anything at you.
Could, but you know what? We're gonna be fine. We will be fine.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be fine.
Yeah, and
I mean,
and also
I got through a 4-hour PhD thesis defense. I can do it. I used to lecture in front of 500 19-year-olds who hated me. Every one of them hated me. So
nice.
This will be fine. We'll be fine.
Did you relish the fact that they hated you and they still had to be there?
I mean, you don't really enjoy being hated, especially when you read the evaluations at the end, and
oh god,
none of them are nice. Oh my god, they're so mean, and they're gross. Especially if you're a woman, they're gross. So yeah, I don't like but no, they all hate you because you're the gatekeeper keeping them out of med school. So but I used to do that, so we'll be fine.
Not seeing any plant questions though.
Yeah, does anyone have any plant questions? What your plants? It's a plant channel. My ponds are doing great.
I've been seeing them the Instagram
Yeah, I had
videos. They do
a
look amazing.
hummingbird visit today. Started getting
Nice.
hummingbirds visiting, so that's exciting. And they're doing good. Lilies are blooming like crazy. It's looking good. I've got tons of gold medaka rice fish fry. If you are close to me, you can have some. I will gladly give you some. And I just yesterday found platinum Miyuki fry, hoping to get more of
Nice.
those because I love them. They are so cool. Thank you, Bex.
Austin, I'm not the one to call for aquascape ideas. That would be, you can call Brooklyn, you can call Kelley, you can call Bex, you can call Jenna. You know, they've got better ideas than I do
You know
for
what
sure.
I would tell you, Austin? I would tell you to get as much hardscape as you can afford and start playing with it because you can't know what's going to look good until you just start messing with it. And like I've bought boxes of random wood, random rocks before in wood, and that's what I do. You just start, it's like a puzzle. And sometimes you have to try different things, take pictures of it. Usually what I do is I leave it for 24 hours before I plant it, see
Yeah,
how I feel about it, live with it a little bit. Obviously in a competition that's not going to work, but for at home, that's good advice from George Farmer is to just live with it for a couple days, see how you feel.
yeah.
You have to start playing with it.
It's not permanent.
Yeah, that's right.
So we do have so Austin's about to set up his stream, but we have a few questions here we can maybe rapid fire. Can a Nymphaea lotus plant actually change the pH of hard water to a lower pH? Not sure if I read it right there.
No,
I mean, I guess
no,
if
I
it
mean,
rots, it can live.
yeah, I mean, I guess it does use up CO2 in the water, but
You'd have
not
to
no
have a
permanent,
lot,
no
like,
permanent changes.
yeah.
No permanent changes.
How do you provide enough highlight for highlight plants without getting a ton of algae?
Use CO2.
Yep, CO2, and then also like turn down the light. It might be too high for what it needs.
I mean,
And of
it's a
course,
it's a balance. If you're going to give plants highlight, you have to give them the other things they need too.
right?
They need,
Yeah,
and the other big thing they need is CO2. If you have very, very low pH water, you can get away with a lot more. Fishimon, great looking, no CO2 tanks. His tanks look fantastic. He's pretty soft water.
hmm,
And that's kind of the magic. If you have harder water, consider CO2 at least in one tank. Try it.
yep. And then you'll start to expand other tanks.
Yeah. I mean, it's a
Like,
good way to learn. Pick your biggest tank that's in an area where you look at a lot, your show tank. So I know that like Peplin and Foxanne, I think they have one CO2 tank. The good news
right.
about that is they can farm a bunch of plants and they can put them in their other tanks.
Oh God, you should see my plant farm right now. I need to harvest bad. Like after Triple Crown, I didn't have time to do anything to it but change the water. And now I'm coming back and like the
Yeah.
octopus. Oh,
Yeah, I need to harvest too after, COVID.
so, what plants should probably have an acclimation period is what Brennan would like to know.
If they're immersed grown, they need a little bit longer.
Mhm.
Crypts, a lot of crypts melt back. I wouldn't say that all crypts melt back. Anything in the Wentii class of, you know, species of crypts. There's a lot of different Wendiis. Those all melt. Those all melt. So they need a little time. I think swords, they can melt back because they're immersed
Yeah,
grown. So they need time. A
but in
lot of
like
stems.
acclimation period, like I wonder if he's asking like a transition or just like planting it and then watching it go through its melt and regrowth. Some
There's
people do like dry start or
some things need to root.
yeah,
Foregrounds do. I mean, foregrounds look like crap until they don't. I mean, the trick for good foregrounds is to plant heavy.
hmm,
That's why I like the tissue culture cups. They're good value. Good value. What other plant questions do we
And then let's see. So the last one is how do you recognize the plants after they've been thrown and chewed on by Oscars?
Aw. Maybe you could ask the Oscars what they looked like before they chewed them up.
Yeah, ask them what is the
What
most
did you
delicious plant?
do?
What's your favorite plant?
What's
Oscars.
your favorite salad? I've never kept an Oscar, so I mean, I've been told they are plant murderers, so I don't really know anything about Oscars. Maybe floating plants would be a good choice. I mean, because they're pretty prolific. So Zenny says I retested instead of 17 GH and 4 KH, transpose those. No, 14 GH.
And
Okay.
7 kh. So her water is a lot like mine, except she already has the GH included.
Yeah, that's not bad. 7 KH.
It's
I
okay.
have 6. If 6, you can get that to go down if you use aqua soils. It helps. It'll bring it down a couple points. That's not bad water. A high GH means nothing. Your
Right.
GH can be as high as it wants. I
Yeah.
guess within reason.
All right. Well,
That's
Austin
fine.
has gone live as Matt has reminded us here. And he
Yeah, and
gifted
it looks
5
like
memberships.
Matt has gifted 5 memberships. So head on over there and join the fun. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for chatting. Thank you for asking questions. Thank you for your patience while I had COVID.
Well, I was also traveling and
That's
tired too, so
yeah.
it's all good. But we're back.
Yeah, it's great to be back.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.